The CEO and president of Post University, who sits on the board of Waterbury Health Systems, which is affiliated with Waterbury Hospital, set forth Post University as a drive-through COVID vaccine site, in part because most of the students are still learning remotely.
Long story short, there's a team at Waterbury Hospital and a team at Post University that got together, figured this thing out. The logistics on this are unbelievable.
But he said next Monday, the drive-through vaccination site will be in business on the Post campus.
Initially, we're anticipating that will be 400 or 500 vaccinations a day. But we want to very quickly ramp that up to about 2,000 vaccinations a day.
So he's encouraging everyone who doesn't already have a reservation to make one on Waterbury Hospital's website, which is simply waterburyhospital.org/vaccine.
We're a pretty significant part of this community in central Connecticut, and we see that as our obligation. So we're just delighted to help.
Next week, President Hopkins says Post will start out by vaccinating those 75 and older and moving quickly to the 65-plus crowd. In Waterbury, Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.